Hi, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Royer. I'm recording outside today. This is a video, so you can see me, but I can't see you. Today, we're going to read the book. Do you remember what it's called? That's right. It's called Caps for Sale, a tale of a peddler, some monkeys, and their monkey business, as told by, now this is a name that's hard for me to say, but I always give it a try, right? Esphyr Slobodkina. I think that's a really fun name. Maybe someday I'll hear them say it out loud, the author, so that I know how to say it for real. Because we always want to call people by the way that their name's supposed to be said. So I'll need to hear them say it to know for sure. So before we even start, I'd like to go over the vocabulary. And remember, I always tell you, vocabulary is just the fancy teacher word for words. And we have one right here in our title, monkey business. Monkey business. Can you say monkey business? Good, monkey business. Now, monkey business means silliness or teasing. Monkey business. I'm outside, so I have to tuck them under my computer so they don't blow away. So it might take just a second longer than it usually does. Our next word is peddler. Can you say peddler? Good. Peddler is a person who walks around selling things. Peddler. Our next word is ordinary. Can you say ordinary? Good work. Ordinary means normal. Normal. Our next word is wares. Wares. Can you say wares? Good work. Wares is a thing that a peddler sells. And in this book, that's caps. See, I got my cap on. Our next word, which is actually a phrase, is not to upset. Can you say the phrase, not to upset? Good work. So in this one, not to upset means the peddler doesn't want the caps to fall off of his head. So sometimes we talk about upset like get angry or sad, but in this book, when he says not to upset, it just means the peddler doesn't want the caps to fall off his head. Our next word is leaned. Can you say leaned? Good work. So that means to put your weight of your body gently against something. So here, I'm going to lean back in my chair. Good. Leaned. Next word is irritate. Can you say irritate? Good work. So that means to bother or upset. Now we just talked about upsetting his caps, meaning to fall off, but this is the other kind of upset, like get angry or sad. So irritate, to bother or upset. Good job. Two more. Refreshed. Refreshed. Can you say refreshed? Good work. So refreshed means rested and ready to go. Good job. Last one, stamped. Can you say stamped? Good work. So that means to bring your foot down hard and loud. Now I did it with my fist because you can't see my foot, but you can use your foot to stamp. Good job. So those are all of our words. Let's take a real quick look at all of them. Monkey business, peddler, ordinary, wares. This one's a phrase, not to upset. Lean, irritate, refreshed, stamped. All right, I think we're ready for the story. I usually hold these up while we're reading. I'm going to do my best, but I got to keep them tucked under my computer so they don't blow away in the wind. All right, caps for sale. A tale of a peddler, some monkeys, and their monkey business. Monkey business. Ooh, let me turn to the first page. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not, oh, sorry. Come on. Peddler who sold caps, but he was not like an ordinary peddler who carried his wares on his back. He carried them on top of his head. First, he had on his own checked cap, then a bunch of gray caps, then a bunch of brown caps, then a bunch of blue caps, and then on the very top, a bunch of red caps. Ooh, so many vocabulary words on that page. So let's go over them. Peddler, a person who walks around selling things. Ordinary, normal. And wares, the things that the peddler sells. All right, we're ready for some more story. He walked up the streets and he walked down the streets, holding himself very straight so as not to upset his caps. And as he went along, he called, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." So not to upset, meaning so that he doesn't want the caps to fall off of his head. Take a long time to pick up that many caps, don't you think? Plus they get dirty and he's trying to sell them. One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the street and he walked down the street calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody even wanted a red cap. He began to feel very hungry. Ooh, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," said he, and he walked out of town slowly, slowly, so as not to upset his caps. He had no money for lunch because he didn't sell any caps. Now, if your job is to sell things, that's the way you make money. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. "That's a nice place for a rest," thought he, and he sat down very slowly under the tree and he leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as not to disturb the caps on his head. Then he put his hand to feel that they were straight. First his own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, then the red caps at the very top. Now remember, leaned is to put your body weight gently against something. Here I am leaning back in my chair, and he was leaning back against the tree. They were all there, the caps, they were all there. So we went to sleep. I slept for a long time. Whew. When he woke up, he was refreshed and rested. So refreshed means rested and ready to go. So he had a good nap. Feels good now. Sometimes a nap is just what you need to feel ready to go. But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure his caps were in the right place. What's wrong? All he felt was his own checked cap. Uh-oh. Now, if you'd like, you could pause the video now and you could remember from last time or guess what happened to the peddler's caps. While you're paused, I'll wait. He looked to the right of him. No caps. He looked to the left of him. No caps. He looked in back of him. No caps. He looked behind the tree. No caps. Where are the caps, students? Where should he look? Then he looked up into the tree. And what do you think he saw? On every branch sat a monkey. And on every monkey was a gray or a brown or a blue or a red cap. What did those monkeys do? Oh, this must be the monkey business that they talked about in the title. Remember, monkey business is silliness, foolishness. Monkey stole his caps. The peddler looked at the monkeys. The monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. So finally, he spoke to them. You monkeys, you, he said, shaking a finger at them. You give me back my caps. But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at him. And you can do this with me. And they said, naughty, naughty. This made the peddler angry. So he shook both hands at them and he said, you monkeys, you give me back my caps. But the monkeys only shook both of their hands back at him and they said, do this with me. Rude. Now he felt quite angry and he stamped his foot and he said, you monkeys, you give me back my caps. But the monkeys only stamped their feet back at him and said, by this time, the peddler was really very, very angry. So he stamped both of his feet and he shouted, you monkeys, you give me back my caps. But the monkeys only stamped both of their feet back at him and they said, what did they say? They said, such monkey business. All right, if you'd like to, you could pause the video now. What happens next? I'll wait. At last, he became so angry that he pulled off his own cap. He threw it on the ground and he began to walk away. What are the monkeys going to do? But then each monkey pulled off his cap. And all the gray caps and all the brown caps and all the blue caps and all the red caps came flying down out of the tree. So let's pause the video and talk about, do you think that the peddler thought this was going to happen? Did the peddler think that the monkeys were going to throw their caps on the ground? So the peddler picked up his caps and he put them back on his head. First his own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, then the red caps at the very top. And slowly, slowly, he walked back to town calling, caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap. And look, right here it says, the end. Not all of our stories actually say the end, but this one does. All right, so that's the end of Caps for Sale. I hope you enjoyed the story today. I'm going to say goodbye. Bye-bye.